I'll be looking at your comments. Good morning. I hope we don't have tech issues this time like we have had in the past. Okay, we're good. Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can see me clearly. Oh, I'm playing it here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Tell me where you guys are tuning in from. I always love seeing like what countries or what states or just where around the world you're watching from. Oh, great. Okay, all your comments are coming in. Oh, hi from Kuwait. That's so cool. Saudi Arabia. Oh my gosh, from so far. Is it like the middle of the night there? I hope not. England, Pennsylvania, Slovenia, India, Greece, Bangladesh, Bahamas, Nebraska, Tennessee, Philippines, LA, Germany, Ireland. Oh my gosh, Nigeria, from all over the place. Canada, Cyprus. Ooh, I don't think I've seen Cyprus on a live stream before. Serbia, Pakistan. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Netherlands, Scotland. Hi everyone. Peru, Puerto Rico, Romania, Dehradun. Oh, wow. I don't think I've seen Dehradun on a live stream before. That's so cool. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? I hope all of you are doing well. It's so good to see you in a live stream. I'm so excited for this live stream because it feels like it's been a while since I've just like answered your general skincare questions, whatever you guys want to ask. I used to do this a lot more often, and I have been all over the place, crazy busy. Life's been a little insane, so I haven't felt like I've been able to be stable enough to like do a full live stream. But I'm finally back. I'm so excited to answer your questions. Oh, thank you for all the compliments on the earring. This is actually a collaboration from one of the YouTubers. I love, if you know Nicole, she designed this earring. Super, super cute, so I wear it all the time. Love it. Hi, guys. Thank you guys from the love. Oh, Hungry. Hello. Oh my gosh, from all over the world. I love seeing where you guys are tuning in from. Well, we can just get right into it because I know you guys are like patiently waiting with your questions that you have to ask. If you aren't familiar with these live streams, I love to just answer some of your questions about skincare, give some of my personal opinions and just recommendations based off the products I've used, just to, help provide a little bit more clarity when it comes to figuring out the entire world of skincare, what products are best for what skin types or what skin issues. But I do want to clarify, this is not meant to be medical or professional advice. If you are struggling with anything severe within your skin, please go see your dermatologist or esthetician to get that shit treated. As I always say, they'll be able to provide you with really curated advice. But if you're someone who, like me, is always just trying to find new products on the market, trying to find what works, or just, pointers in the right direction, then feel free to ask any of your questions. For anyone who does send super chats through, I will do my best to answer them, but I always love to balance super chats and general questions just to make sure that everyone can get their questions answered. And as much as I would love to answer every single question on these live streams, typically they come through so quickly that I don't have enough time to answer all of them. So if I'm not able to answer one of yours, I apologize. Hopefully in the next live stream I'll be able to, but hopefully I'll be able to at least answer a question that is similar to, one that you are burning to ask. And if you guys want to know when I'm doing these live streams next, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's at Skincare by Hyram. I post just, a ton of stuff that you don't see here on YouTube on my Instagram, but I also let you guys know when live streams are coming so that you are in the know, up to date on everything that's happening and when I'm going to be doing my next live stream. So we can, I said, is it glitching, guys? It's kind of glitching on my end, and I see some comments saying that it's glitching. Okay, hopefully it's good. It looks like it's good now. If it's glitching again, let me know. Let me know if there's any tech issues because I feel like there's always tech issues. Okay, let's just answer some of your questions. I see that they are coming through very quickly. Thank you so much already. Let's see. What do you think of the Garnier Green Tea Cleanser? Overall, when it comes to Garnier, some of their ingredient, I love their micellar water. I think that one's really good. If I remember the green tea cleanser, it's from the ingredient list, there may be like sodium lauryl sulfates. I'd have to look at the ingredient list again. I don't think, if I remember right, that it was like terrible, but I don't honestly remember the ingredient list off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to look at it again. But when it comes to Garnier products, I know for sure that the products from Garnier that I really do like are their micellar waters. As for their other products, a lot of them don't align with my personal philosophy on skincare. But maybe they've come out with new products. Maybe it's a new green tea cleanser that I have not seen. But if it's the same one I'm thinking of, I think I used it once and it was a little bit too stripping on my skin. And some of the ingredients were a little bit, too harsh for my personal skin type. So that's my personal opinion on it, which is very loose because I feel like that didn't really point you in the right direction, but hopefully that helped a little bit. How to clear forehead bumps. Thank you for the question, Layla. I think it depends on what kind of bumps you're talking about. If you're talking about like breakouts or acne, there's a bunch of incredible ingredients out there. Some of my favorites being salicylic acid, as well as benzoyl peroxide. But if you're talking more like fungal acne route, a skin condition that's commonly referred to as fungal acne, even though it's not really acne, I actually have a whole video dedicated to talking about that topic. You can go watch that one because I go into a lot more detail than I'd ever be able to go into within this live stream. But I'll be able to, hopefully answer a lot of your questions for forehead bumps in that video because I go into a lot of detail. So I recommend watching that one. How do I stop my breakouts? That is the golden question of the century. It really depends on the type of skin type you have and the breakouts you're struggling with, but typically I always recommend utilizing two primary ingredients, niacinamide and salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is an exfoliating ingredient that goes deep into your pores and pushes out all the dead skin and dirt and buildup that can typically cause acne in the first place. And then niacinamide is great at reducing excessive oil production within your skin. It calms redness and sensitivity. It supports your skin barrier. There's just a bunch of benefits to using both on your skin in order to combat breakouts. But there's also other ingredients out there like benzoyl peroxide. So if you're looking for products, there's the Paul's Choice 2% salicylic acid solution. There's the CeraVe benzoyl peroxide cleanser. I have my own salicylic acid serum from Selfless by Hyram that's more gentle, and especially if you're someone who has like combination or dry skin and doesn't want something too intense on the skin, that's a great one to use as well. There's also the Selfless by Hyram niacinamide moisturizer if you're looking to introduce niacinamide, or there's dedicated niacinamide serums that you can use if you're already really happy with your routine. You can go in and use those as well. But I'd say those are the two primary ingredients I'd recommend. If you are going to use benzoyl peroxide, make sure you use it in a cleanser form. I find that that's the best way because any leave-on benzoyl peroxide products tend to stain your clothing and stain your sheets, and it's just not the most pleasant experience out there to use. But in a cleanser, it's a really easy way of getting those benefits. Let's see. What can we do about hair acne? So I imagine that's acne along the hairline. A lot of times that can be the result of irritating hair products. I'd recommend looking at the ingredient list of your hair products and maybe try finding hair products that are fragrance-free or free of harsh cleansing agents. Sometimes that can be the issue. It depends. I'd say try switching out the hair products that you use because a lot of times that can result in breakouts along the hairline. And if you're not, sometimes what can happen is that it can run down onto your face and cause face acne as well. I'd say just try looking at your hair products and see if you can make any adjustments there because that can sometimes be the big culprit. But it depends on what you mean by hair acne. I assume that's what you mean. Let's see. How to reduce under eye dark circles. This is a really good one, but it also comes down to what type of dark circles that you're struggling with. Now, I think that if you have genetic dark circles, there's no reason to want to get rid of them because I think genetically, first of all, there's not really a lot that you can do to get rid of them except for corrective treatments that you would get from a board certified dermatologist. But if you're someone like me who does not get as much sleep as I should and you start seeing dark circles develop, those are dark circles as a sign of not getting enough rest, stress in the body, and a lack of care of the skin. And you can definitely use ingredients like niacinamide. You can use retinol. I personally like using retinol. The Inkey List retinol eye cream is one that I like. Or if you want something that's a little bit more instantaneous, the First Aid Beauty niacinamide eye cream is my personal favorite to use on the daily because it has this slight corrective tint to it on the under eye area that helps to kind of distract from the darkness. But I'd say more than anything, using retinol or niacinamide are great ways of being able to get rid of that darkness that develops. But at the same time, I don't think there's any shame in dark circles, especially if there's something that you've always had. And I think, for even as I start developing dark circles, naturally as I age, it's just going to be something that I embrace and work to, keep my skin healthy. But, don't worry too much about dark circles if that's a huge concern of yours. I know that may not be, you know, the most helpful thing, but hopefully those products will be able to help ease the sometimes increasing damage that we see on the under eye area. What products to help get rid of textured skin? Thank you for the question, Chloe. So for textured skin, I always recommend going in with a chemical exfoliant. A lot of people use physical exfoliants like scrubs. I personally don't recommend those because they can be a little bit harsh and not as corrective in a bunch of different ways like a chemical exfoliant can be. So using ingredients like mandelic acid or lactic acid, glycolic acid, PHAs. I personally love mandelic acid and PHAs because of how gentle they are, but how well they work to get rid of those dead skin cells. And there's multiple forms. You can use it in a serum, you can use it in a toner, even some moisturizers. But I'd say use exfoliants maximum of like every other day and try not to use a chemical exfoliant every single day. If you're looking for specific product recommendations, I mean, there's really simple ones like say the ordinary glycolic toning solution. There's my personal one, the Self by Hyram mandelic acid serum that you can use as well. But there's so many different ones out there. I'd say just overall using a chemical exfoliant will help to get rid of that texture over time. But you do have to be really consistent with it. Skin texture takes a long time to get rid of within the skin, and it's something that you really have to incorporate within your regular skincare routine for a long time to see, you know, really beneficial results. Is it okay to use a salicylic acid face wash every morning? And she has oily skin. Thank you, Alana. So yeah, I think it is. In a cleanser, it tends to be a lot more gentle because first of all, you're only applying it to your skin for like 30 to 60 seconds maximum before rinsing it off, which I think is totally fine. And in cleansers, salicylic acid tends to be at a lot lower of a concentration. Where I recommend being a little bit cautious is if you're using like a 2% salicylic acid product every single day. That can be a little bit intense on the skin, but if you're using like under 1% every day, I think in a cleanser it's totally fine and can definitely be helpful if you have oily skin, because I recommend salicylic acid to anyone who has oily skin. So I think that's totally fine. How to cure acne scars? This is the question of every single comment section on all of my content. Acne scars are really tricky to get rid of because they tend to be really deep set damage within the skin. The main thing is, well, there's a few different aspects. First, you always want to be using a sunscreen because any type of tip that you try to use to get rid of acne scars will inevitably make your skin more sensitive to the sun. So first, you want to use a sunscreen. Second, I recommend retinol. Retinol is one of the most powerful ingredients on the market for getting rid of that level of deep set damage within the skin. And when it comes to acne scars, specifically like pigmented acne scars, retinol can be really good for correcting that over time. Now, if you have acne scars that are like pickaxe acne scars or, you know, indentations within the skin, using over-the-counter products is going to be a little tricky because you probably aren't going to see results for a really long time. So it really does depend on the type of acne scar that you're struggling with. And that can be helped with, you know, corrective treatments that you can get from a dermatologist. But overall, I'd say using a retinol regularly is definitely going to help. I personally formulated my own Self by Hyram retinol and rainbow algae serum for to be able to help with the appearance of acne scarring, but using a retinol just in general is really going to help so long as you're using a sunscreen. Don't forget to use a sunscreen. If you're looking for, you know, a really good one that you can find pretty easily, there's the Inkey List retinol serum. That's a great one, really gentle one that works effectively as well for a great price point. There's a bunch of different retinols on the market. I'd say overall, just make sure you're consistently using. When you first start using a retinol, slowly introduce it into your routine. Don't use it too much because it can cause a little bit of irritation at first, and then you can work your way up to using it at a maximum of, I'd say, every other day to a day, to every day, depending on how strong the formula is. But that's one of the best ways to get rid of acne scarring. Let's see. Does drying out your skin increase acne? So actually it can. The reason being is that the moisture barrier on your skin, it's really critical that you're protecting it because it can be very sensitive to our environments, to sensitivity and irritation. And when our skin is irritated and sensitized, it tends to respond in ways that, you know, we don't enjoy, like redness, like irritation, and sometimes breakouts. And a lack of proper moisture and taking care of the moisture barrier on your skin can sometimes result in your skin just like freaking out and breaking out, and that's why it's really important that you're moisturizing, you're using good ingredients that are going to protect your moisture barrier, and you're not overly stripping your skin. So make sure you don't use too strong of a cleanser. Make sure that you're not going overboard with your treatments. Like, I love salicylic acid, but if you're like using a bunch of different exfoliants and salicylic acid at the same time and it's drying out your skin, that can definitely increase acne as well. So you just want to be really careful with that. Let's see. Is it okay to use salicylic acid on dry skin? So yes, it is, but I'd say it depends on the strength of salicylic acid and how often you're using it. If you're using a 2% concentration every single day, that is a lot. You want to be careful with that because that can be really intense, specifically on dry skin. I know a lot of people with dry skin who do have breakouts tend to benefit from using it like once a week or twice a week, or even using it in a cleanser infrequently. I'd say you want to make sure you're really focusing on moisturizing to compensate for any dryness that could come from salicylic acid, but my main recommendation is just use any products that have a lower percentage of salicylic acid in them, because that's really going to help to make sure that your skin doesn't become overly dry. But I definitely think people with dry skin can use salicylic acid. You just want to be careful about that. Let's see. What are good ways to get rid of blackheads fast? Thank you, Emma, for the question. So I know I've talked about it a lot in this live stream, but honestly, salicylic acid is a great way to get rid of blackheads. Niacinamide can be helpful as well because it reduces the oil production that can cause blackheads in the first place, and benzoyl peroxide can also help with that. So any of the ingredients that I've talked about so far can definitely be helpful, whether it's in a cleanser or a serum. You definitely want to utilize those to help get rid of those blackheads. Thank you for all the questions, by the way. They are coming through consistently. Let's see. Eye cream for wrinkles or crow's feet. They're not bad yet. I'm only 25. Thank you for the question, Deva. So this is actually a really good one because I used to really struggle with under eye wrinkles when I was around like 17, 18. They got pretty rough, and I'd say the main thing is definitely using sunscreen. First of all, that's going to help in the long run a lot more than any corrective treatment will now. But I do recommend using ingredients like retinol and exfoliating treatments. You want to be careful on the under eye area and use very gentle formulas specifically for that area. So don't use any strong exfoliants or any strong retinols on the under eye area. Be really careful. But say, like I said before, the Inkey List retinol eye cream, or you can mix a little bit of your retinol serum with your moisturizer and apply it on the under eye area to get that kind of corrective treatment. And then I'd say one of the biggest tips overall is try to minimize situations where you find yourself squinting a lot. So if you're driving or if you're outside and you find that you're squinting and creating, you know, those wrinkles or crow's feet, you may want to start using sunglasses, or try being in the shade more, or try utilizing different types of sun protection outside of sunscreen that'll help to minimize those expression lines from being created in the first place, because that's, you know, one of the biggest issues that can really cause it. But also be forgiving with yourself, because when it comes to, you know, aging, it's a natural thing. Some people age more quickly than others. The main thing is taking care of your skin and making sure that it's healthy, but don't beat yourself up if your skin is just naturally going that direction. I have, you know, really, like, I do have crow's feet that I try to keep minimized, but it's a natural process of aging, and by 25, you know, don't beat yourself up about it too bad, but I would recommend those things. Oh, Lorena, hi, how are you? I remember you from previous live streams. She says, hey, mijo, are you getting the new Purito sunscreen? If so, thoughts? So I've been out of the loop, and it was so funny because my best friend literally told me, like, hey, are you gonna get the new Purito sunscreen? And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize they came out with a sunscreen because I've just been busy and out of the loop. I definitely want to try it. I still have to look at the ingredients and everything, but Purito as a brand overall really exemplifies the type of skincare philosophy that I personally have. So I'm interested in trying it and testing it out. And, you know, if you guys want to see like a review on that or something, let me know, because I'm definitely interested in trying it. But I still have to give it a shot. So thank you for asking. I need to write that on my to-do list. Can you use the Inkey List Salicylic acid cleanser twice a day? You can. I personally recommend only going in with a treatment cleanser once a day, and then at the other time of the day using a more gentle cleanser, just to make sure that you're not exposing your skin to a lot of the same treatment ingredients, particularly if you're using like an exfoliating treatment overnight. I personally recommend using a cleanser like that at nighttime when you're taking off, you know, everything that's been on your face throughout the day, and then in the morning using a really gentle cleanser that's just gonna, you know, remove the skincare products from the night before, because when your skin is, you know, when you go to sleep and you only have your nighttime skincare routine on, there's really not a lot to take off, as opposed to when you have, you know, makeup or sunscreen, dirt, oil, sebum that has built on your face throughout the day. That's really where a treatment cleanser can be beneficial. But I'd say, you know, personally, I'd recommend once a day, but that one is pretty gentle, so you're not going to see any, you know, like harm on your skin from using it twice a day. What is the best moisturizer for combination skin? That is the question of the sentence. There's a lot of really good questions. That's a difficult one to answer because it really just depends on your personal preference. My personal favorite cleansers for combination skin, I personally like gel cream consistencies because they're able to give you the moisture and hydration you need for all your dry areas, but they're still lightweight enough to use on any oilier areas. Some of the ones from, the top of my list, obviously, I mean, I'm super biased, but my own Selfless by Hyram Niacinamide Maracuja moisturizer, I specifically formulated to really work well with combination skin and help with both dryness and oiliness. So I personally love that one. I also love the Aveeno Calm and Restore Oat Gel Moisturizer. That one has a nice, richer consistency that actually feels quite lightweight on the skin, and I'm always impressed with how well it works personally on my skin. What are some other ones as well? This is a good question. If you're a little bit more on the drier side, I'd say the e.l.f. Happy Hydration Cream is a good one because it's not too rich of a consistency. Although that's one a little bit more on the creamier consistency. I also love the oh my gosh, what is it called? It's at Target. Oh my god. Oh, Versed. The Versed moisturizer, the green one, that one's really good as well. It has a little bit of a richer gel cream consistency, but it feels really nice on the skin, works well if you have oily skin as well. I'd say that one's a great one for combination skin too. I don't know why I forgot that one. I talk about it literally in so many videos. Kelly asked, how would you use snail essence day and night? So snail essence has a lot of benefits for the skin, particularly if you do have more dry skin. I'd say I'd personally recommend using it at night. It can be a little bit heavy during the day, depending on the type of snail essence that you're using. I know there's some richer ones, there's some more lightweight ones, but I'd say overall it's great for really just helping with transepidermal water loss and just increasing the bounciness and suppleness of the skin. And that's something that you can really benefit from using overnight. But if you are someone who has really dry skin, I don't see any issue with using it during the day. Really just depends on your preference. But I'd say using it once a day is good. Using it twice a day, at least for my skin, would personally be a little bit too much. But if you have dry skin, I mean, whatever works best. Let's see. There's so many questions, sorry. Sarah asked, can I use isotretinoin gel in the evening followed by adapalene at night all over my face and retin-A on the dark spots? So for questions like this where you do have, prescription grade skincare, I do recommend checking in with your dermatologist because you do have access to a dermatologist if you, at least in the USA, if you are able to get access to isotretinoin. The thing is, you do want to be careful about layering actives or using them really frequently together. When it comes to using retin-A, tretinoin, adapalene, those are all really intense treatments that can be a little bit intense on the skin. I personally wouldn't use that combination together, but I'm also not your dermatologist. I don't know what's going to personally work best for your skin or the specific struggles that you're experiencing, so I recommend checking in with them. If anyone who is watching does have access to a dermatologist, I highly recommend utilizing them because they're going to be really beneficial. Can you guys let me know if I'm glitching out? Because I'm seeing it on my screen. It looks like I'm glitching out, but I have no idea if I am. Let me know if it's having issues. Okay. Is sulfur soap good for acne? I love you. Thank you, Sophia. It's very sweet. So sulfur is a great ingredient to be able to help with acne. It's kind of harder to find in products as compared to like salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. And it depends on the type of cleanser because sometimes sulfur cleansers can be a little bit stripping. But as far as the ingredient sulfur itself, definitely a fan. I think it's a great ingredient to help with that. Oh man, I am glitching. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know if my internet is having issues or something. Caitlin says best SPF products. I love answering this question. So I've made a bunch of videos talking about the best ones, whether it's drugstore or whether it's the best overall or depending on which year. But I'd say my personal favorite right now has been the Bliss Blockstar SPF 30. I really like the minimal tint that it gives. It's one of the best for oily skin that I've been able to find because it has this nice matte finish. I also love the Biossance Squalane SPF 30. That one's a really great one as well. If you're looking for a super affordable one that you can find at the drugstore, it's right here, the Alba Botanical Sensitive Mineral Sunscreen. Although it does have a little bit more of a white cast than the others, that's kind of to be expected with the price points, but still a good one to use. Oh, yes, the Sunbum Mineral SPF 30 tinted sunscreen, I'm also a fan of as well. That one's worked really well. Keep in mind, these are all mineral sunscreens, so if you are someone who does prefer chemical sunscreens, I wouldn't have the recommendations because I don't use chemical sunscreens. But as far as mineral ones, those are some of my favorites, but I highly recommend checking out some of the videos I've made because I have a lot of recommendations for different types depending on your skin type or your skin concern. Let's see. Francesca says, hi Hyram, opinion on Tarte's skincare. By the way, your videos are so helpful. Thank you, I appreciate that. So Tarte has some pretty good products. Their powder sunscreen I used for so long. I don't use as much now just because I always forget to, but that one's a great one for just like minimal SPF reapplication and helping with oiliness throughout the day because my skin can sometimes get pretty oily. But now that I'm, kind of utilizing better products for my oily skin, I don't get as oily as I used to. But that one's a good one. I remember they had a good exfoliating toner, if I remember right from their previous ingredient list. Their is it like Baba Su moisturizer, I think is pretty good too. That one's great. I'd have to look at the rest of their products because I know they've come out with more, but it's kind of hit or miss for me because I know some of their products do include fragrant essential oils or extracts, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, I don't think it's too bad coming from a makeup line. Yeah, I've enjoyed using some of their products. I'm so sorry, I'm glitching, guys. I don't know what's happening. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, there's so many good ones. It's hard to choose which one. Huh. Okay. Oh, this person says, my skin is allergic to AHA and BHA. Any replacements help? Ooh, that's a difficult one because when it comes to skin allergies, those types of questions can best be answered by a dermatologist. I imagine if you know that you are fully allergic to these ingredients, I would hope you have access to, medical advice or advice from a professional to be able to help with that. I'm always hesitant about making recommendations for people who do have intense skin allergies because you just want to be really careful because certain ingredients can send your skin over the edge. As far as finding replacements for those, that is pretty difficult because they are such unique ingredients and there's a bunch of different types of ingredients within AHA specifically. So I'm nervous to make recommendations. I'm so sorry. I would love to be able to help you, but I'd recommend if you do have access to go to a medical professional, they'd be able to help you, like a dermatologist specifically, or wherever you got, allergies tested and see if they have any recommendations. But yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could make recommendations, but I just want to make sure that your skin is taken care of and I don't accidentally make recommendations that could send your skin over the edge. Let's see. Best oily skin serum that isn't niacinamide. Great question. So it can be kind of tricky to find serums for oily skin, at least in my experience, because a lot of products that say they're for oily skin, when I've used them on my skin, I'm like, they're still so heavy on the skin. So it really depends, but I'd say overall ones that I've personally really enjoyed using, well, I mean, I personally developed my own Selfless by Hyram salicylic acid and sea kelp serum to be as lightweight as possible on the skin. You only have to use like 4 or 5 drops for your whole face, and it's extremely lightweight, and you're getting the benefits of salicylic acid, but that one does have niacinamide, so if you are sensitive to niacinamide, maybe don't use that one. What are some other ones that I've loved? There's the Purito Centella serum that I've enjoyed using in the past as well for more oily skin. What else is there? Man, my mind is blanking. Serums for oily skin. Oh, if you're looking for one that actually like helps to repair the moisture barrier but isn't too heavy on the skin, that I was actually impressed to find works pretty well on my oily skin, the Aveeno Calm and Restore Triple Oat Serum. That one's pretty good. I've enjoyed using that one. There's also the, oh my gosh, what brand is it from? I'm sorry guys, it's like 9 a.m. and my memory is kind of trash right now. There's a barrier repair serum from Even Prime. Even Prime has a barrier repair serum that's also really good if you're wanting to focus focus on like conditioning and nourishing your skin, but you don't want a really heavy experience, that one's really good because it's super lightweight if you are wanting to help a little bit with that. So I'd say those are really good ones. Obviously, I recommend the Paula's Choice 2% solution if you are wanting a good exfoliation experience. Even though that's more of a toner formula, it still operates as kind of, the treatment step of your skincare routine like a serum would as well. But I'd say if you do have really, really oily skin, you're struggling finding a serum, maybe use your serums during the nighttime where you're getting your treatment in, and during the daytime you can just use a moisturizer. For a long time, because my skin would be pretty oily in the summertime, and when I have to work jobs where I was on my feet running around all day, I didn't even use a serum. I just used a cleanser and I followed up with moisturizer and a sunscreen. So don't stress out too much about it. If your skin is really persistently oily, maybe just use it overnight, and then during the day you can just focus on a very simple skincare routine. Skincare routine for a 50-year-old woman. I'm trying to help my mom and I trust you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, so I'd say when it comes to any person's skin who is at that age, I would say definitely focusing on damage repair is a good one. If she hasn't used skincare in the past, then it would be a good time to, start maybe trying to take care of any damage that she's seen, and at the very minimum, start using a sunscreen. That's really important. You are instantaneous results, but in the long run you're definitely going to see a lot of amazing results. So start by using a sunscreen, and then I'd say gently introduce her to retinol, because retinol is, like I said before, a really good ingredient for repairing damage within the skin, and people with more mature skin tend to really benefit from using a retinol. Introduce it slowly into her routine, and then she can use it more and more, but I found that a lot of people within that specific age range really do enjoy using retinol. So I'd say start using that, and then just a gentle cleanser that can, she can use every single morning and every night. But if she is starting into skincare, you definitely want to take it a little bit slower. Don't overwhelm her. I know sometimes it can be so exciting to like get skincare products for people and get them set up with a routine. But the best thing you can do is just start by developing a habit and just introducing one product at a time, and taking it slowly, and then her own passion and her own interest in skincare will develop from there. Let's see. Okay, can I use glycolic acid from Ordinary in the morning, and at night the CeraVe Salicylic Acid Lotion? This is from Sophia. So I'd say when it comes to using the glycolic acid toner, it's definitely a really strong solution. If you're using it every single day, I would be a little bit hesitant because it can be just really, really strong on the skin. So be mindful of that. As far as using the Salicylic Acid Lotion, that one can it's overall pretty gentle, the one from CeraVe, but using them on the same day can be a little bit intense depending on your skin. But I'd say overall, I don't think it would be too harmful because you're splitting them up between morning and night. But truthfully, overall, I would recommend using glycolic acid overnight, at least that strong of a solution, rather than during the day, because during the day, your skin is just trying to ward off any environmental damage that it sees from like pollution or sunlight or anything like that. And you're going to see the best results from using a glycolic acid product overnight rather than during the day when your skin is already having to go through all that work to combat everything it has to go through. So I'd say that adjustment I would personally recommend, and just being a little bit more infrequent with how you use it, depending on how often you are. I definitely don't recommend using it every day. What is your favorite retinol? Good question. So there's a bunch of different retinols out there that I've personally enjoyed using as far as just overall generally. Of course, there's the one from my own line, Selfless by Hyram, the Retinol and Rainbow Algae Repair Serum. That one is my favorite, but I feel like you guys already know that. I also love the Honest Beauty Retinol Serum. That one's really good. The Inky List Retinol Serum. What other ones? Honestly, retinol is one of those things where like I found a bunch of products that I enjoy, but not very many that I'm like obsessed with. But I do like the Honest Beauty and the Inky List retinol. I'll have to think about it. I'll let you know if I think of any more in the video, but those are my primary ones. And if you're looking for a really strong one that I wish worked for my skin, using adapalene can be really helpful if you're wanting a super strong retinol. But typically I like to go a little bit more gentle with my retinols. Can you do a video on hair growth and hair care? Ooh, that's a great question, Megan. To be honest, my knowledge in the hair care space is so limited, so I always feel nervous about making recommendations or talking about products like at that detailed of a way if I'm not super knowledgeable about it. I definitely do have to learn more because that's an area just compared to skincare I know so little about. But if you guys really do want me to make more videos about that, let me know because I'm happy to deep dive into, you know, learning more about hair care and that specific route. But I definitely need to learn a little bit more. But if you guys do want like an updated hair care routine, I'm always changing my hair care routine. So let me know if you want to see an updated routine. I'm happy to give one. Should I use moisturizer? Is it important? I'm 18 years old. Thank you, Gladys, for that question. So I personally do recommend using a moisturizer because you want to make sure that your skin is not losing water. Our skin goes through something called transepidermal water loss, where we lose water through our skin and it results in dryness, sometimes breakouts, sensitivity, irritation. And it's really important to use a moisturizer to combat that. So you want to be, you know, really consistent about using a moisturizer, at least overnight, but at a minimum every day. So I do recommend it. The good thing is that there's lots of affordable moisturizers out there that you can find at the drugstore. Really simple ones. There's like the Vanicream moisturizer, really simple. There's Versed moisturizers. The e.l.f. moisturizers are good. There's a bunch of good ones that you can use, but yes, I definitely recommend using a moisturizer. Let's see. Can you please recommend lip balms for dry and chapped lips? Thank you. You know, Vivian, that is such a difficult question because I'm constantly struggling to find really good products that properly moisturize my lip area. I think it's because I have to film a lot during the day that I'm always just like talking, and my lips get super dry, and I think I just have genetically dry lips. It's a struggle. The main recommendation I have is using a moisturizer and then following up with a lip balm afterwards to get as much, you know, moisture on your lips as possible. That is a really great way because a lot of lip balms tend to only be a seal across the surface of your skin to prevent water loss, but a lot of times don't actually deeply moisturize and nourish your lips. So use your moisturizer first and then follow up with the lip balm. I personally have been liking, I always forget the name of it. It's the new Laneige one, not the Laneige lip sleeping mask, the one that has the little applicator in it. I like that one just because it's really sanitary, and that one's pretty enjoyable to use, although it doesn't provide, you know, the most moisture out there. I've also enjoyed, this one's really bougie, but the good thing is that it lasts forever. This one literally lasts me 7 months, 8 months. The Tatcha Kisu lip mask I have been enjoying as well. It's hard to find ones that are actually working good for my skin. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know because I have tried so many and all of them I'm just kind of like, they're not working. They're not doing as much as I'd like them to. So let me know if you guys have recommendations because those are the only ones that I've kind of been able to find, but I don't really, I'm not a fan of how bougie they are. I'm looking for more affordable ones. Is niacinamide good for acne hyperpigmentation? I have red spots because of acne. Love your videos. Thank you, Seda. So yes, what you may be experiencing, that redness after acne, is called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And niacinamide is great for being able to help with that because niacinamide not only reduces redness and irritation, but niacinamide also has pigmentation lifting properties to be able to help with any minimal pigmentation that you may be struggling with from your breakouts or from other issues that you've had in your skin. So it's definitely a good one. If you are struggling with that though, and you find that niacinamide is not working, you can always upgrade to say like retinol for a stronger experience. But I will say if you haven't been using a niacinamide, I highly recommend it to be able to help with that issue specifically. And as well as acne, niacinamide will be able to help as well because it supports the health of the barrier and it reduces any excess oiliness that could be contributing to your breakouts or acne. So definitely recommend checking it out. Is niacinamide still good in a cleanser? That is a good question. Honestly, I don't really know because I know the benefits of niacinamide are most, beneficial when in a leave-on treatment that you can use throughout the entire day or throughout the entire night. So I personally don't see a lot of benefit to having it in a cleanser because you only have it on your face for 30 seconds. Good ingredients in cleansers can oftentimes be strong treatment ingredients that you may not want to leave on your skin for too long because they can be really intense. But niacinamide isn't a strong treatment ingredient, and I personally think it's way more beneficial in a serum or in a moisturizer or something like that. So I'd say if you're, purposely going out of your way to get a cleanser that has niacinamide for the niacinamide benefits, you should probably get a serum or a moisturizer that has it instead. Let's see. Is green tea good for the skin? Love your videos. Thank you, Maria. So yes, green tea is one of my favorite ingredients because it has so many benefits, whether it's antioxidant abilities or reducing, irritation and sensitivity. It's really good for the health of the skin. It may even be able to help potentially help with premature aging. There's just a bunch of different benefits, and I personally love green tea. I mean, it's the reason that I formulated in the Centella Green Tea Daily Gel Cleanser from my own personal brand. I think it's amazing. So I highly recommend wherever you can put green tea in your skincare routine, definitely. It can be super beneficial. Oh, this is a good question from Lavanya. I like your name. For hyperpigmentation, should I use arbutin or niacinamide? Which is best? So arbutin, if you guys aren't familiar, is really good for helping with excess pigmentation. If you're having dark spots within the skin, it can help to brighten those dark spots specifically. Arbutin can be really strong, but it's a great ingredient. I'd say when it comes to using either niacinamide or arbutin, it really just depends on what your skin is telling you. If you have been using niacinamide and you're not seeing any results, then I would say that arbutin is definitely a good one to be able to help get rid of those dark spots or that damage within your skin. But I'm also a believer that if you don't need to use the strongest product out there, you shouldn't. Just use a gentle product that's going to be effective, or a gentle ingredient that's going to be effective, and niacinamide is one of those that has so many different benefits, you may as well use it in your routine. But if you haven't seen the results that you're looking for, arbutin is definitely a good one to be able to help with that pigmentation. Let's see. Should I use baby soap on my face? It's the only thing working. Okay, so here's the thing. If you have tried a bunch of different products out there, none of them are working, and you find one product that is finally really working for your skin, stick with it. I really think that you should stick with it because you know your skin best, you know what you've been struggling with, and if you are seeing positive results, stick with whatever you're using. I feel like there's very few exceptions to that. Sometimes, there are products that can be pretty damaging to the skin where you think your skin really likes it, but it's actually, hurting it. But overall, if you're seeing positive results, that's probably a good product for your skin. And if it's for babies, baby soap tends to be really, really gentle, which is a good thing. So if you're seeing good results from using that cleanser, stick with it. I don't see an issue with it. Jade says, dermaplaning caused small bumps over my skin. Any recommendations 3 weeks into it now? Ooh, okay, so this can be something that you can experience with any product. Now, small bumps are difficult. It's difficult to determine what they are just based off of your comment, but a lot of times small bumps can show up when our skin is irritated or sensitized by something. Those can be a reaction where your skin is basically just telling you, hey, I'm not happy, fix me, stop doing whatever you're doing. And whenever you do use a product where you see, like me personally, when I see small bumps on my skin, I will stop using that product because I am worried, it could potentially be irritation or sensitivity. I'd say if anything, maybe stop using dermaplaning for a little bit if you saw it specifically start to happen once you started dermaplaning. Take a break, see if your skin recovers, and then maybe try dermaplaning again. If you see that issue come up again, then you know that dermaplaning isn't best for your skin, and maybe try something else. But when it comes to dermaplaning overall, it can be something that can sometimes result in irritation because it is dealing with a more intensive type of process than say just using like a serum or a product would be. So I would recommend being very careful, but yeah, just take a break and then see if your skin runs into that issue again whenever you use it again. Hi, can I use salicylic acid, niacinamide, vitamin C on my 10-year-old? Great question. So those are all pretty, you know, stronger ingredients. I'd say niacinamide is definitely for anyone. It's well tolerated by people with even the most sensitive skin, so I don't see any issue with that. When it comes to using salicylic acid or vitamin C, I'd say it really just depends on what your 10-year-old is struggling with. When it comes to people, you know, who are 10 years old, a lot of times they aren't struggling with severe breakouts or acne or anything like that. And you know, I'd definitely recommend checking like with your doctor or dermatologist when it comes to anything intensive. But when it comes to kids using skincare, I think it's just a matter of whenever you feel they need it. If they're not struggling with breakouts or they're not struggling with those issues, then I think, you know, just using like a moisturizer and a sunscreen and a cleanser is a great way of getting them started into a skincare routine. But if they are starting to struggle with, you know, things like breakouts and stuff, that's where you could use some of those products. But you know, when it comes to kids, you always want to be a little bit careful, particularly at that young of an age, when it comes to more stronger treatment ingredients. So if you do have access to like a family doctor or a dermatologist, I recommend checking with them just to make sure. But as far as standard products like cleansers and moisturizers, sunscreens, that can start at any age. Sunscreen should start from, you know, the day you exit and come into life. Let's see. Ooh, which is best for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation? Retinol, alpha-arbutin, or tranexamic acid? Those are all really good ingredients for being able to help with that. I'd say it really just depends. Retinol definitely has, I'd say, the most research backing it up, which is why I personally believe that retinol is the best. However, alpha-arbutin and tranexamic acid are amazing ingredients for that. Honestly, so for my personal retinol, product, the Retinol and Rainbow Algae Serum from Selfless by Hyram, it actually, if you are in the USA, includes both tranexamic acid and retinol. So if you are interested in both those ingredients, I'd recommend checking that one out. But it really just depends on what you prefer and what your skin prefers. I would say start with retinol, see how that works. If retinol doesn't work, alpha-arbutin is a great alternative, and tranexamic acid as well. But any of those are great. It really just depends on what your skin enjoys the most. Is Aveeno a good brand? Yeah, I mean, I love their oat line, their Calm and Restore line. I feel like Aveeno really like impressed me with that line. I first discovered it forever ago. I think I can't remember who was posting about it, but someone had posted about it, and I was like, ooh, that looks really cool. And I've enjoyed using the products for a long time. And then some of their other products, it just depends on the type of product. I made a video reviewing Aveeno in the past where some of the products I'm not a fan of, and that was before I knew about before they had even released the Calm and Restore line. So I really like the Calm and Restore line. It just depends on the individual ingredient list. But if I were to recommend products from Aveeno, definitely the triple oat serum, the oat gel moisturizer, the Calm and Restore cleanser. Those are very, very good. I really enjoy using all of those products. Does benzoyl peroxide help with acne scars? Not specifically, I'd say. I personally recommend ingredients like retinol, or the ones that were mentioned before, like alpha-arbutin or tranexamic acid. Those are definitely really beneficial for helping with acne scarring. Benzoyl peroxide is definitely good if you are trying to avoid, you know, the bacteria that can cause acne in the first place, or if you're wanting to help with active acne on your skin. I definitely recommend it for that. And there is, you know, some benefit to leave on benzoyl peroxide products. Minimally when it comes to, you know, scarring, but I'd say overall, if you're really wanting to focus in on acne scarring, that's where retinol and those other ingredients that I mentioned can be really, really beneficial. Let's see. Oh, okay, so this is a question from Anna. What ingredients or products are good for keratosis pilaris on the face? What should I avoid? So, I personally recommend checking out Dr. Dre's videos. If you don't know her, she's an amazing dermatologist with really insightful videos. When it comes to an issue like keratosis pilaris, you know, I've gotten it on my body before, and I know different products like different types of exfoliants that can be really beneficial with it. When it comes to it on the face, your skin can be pretty compromised, and I'm always nervous making recommendations for KP on the face because you know, your skin is struggling with a more intensive issue, and you know, that's really where I recommend, you know, going to a dermatologist to be able to get that information. But if you don't have access to a dermatologist, Dr. Dre has some great videos talking about how to, you know, get rid of and avoid KP on the face, and I recommend checking those out. I always get a little bit nervous, kind of like what I was saying before. I always get a little bit nervous when it comes to issues like that and making recommendations, because I don't want to push your skin over the edge. And when it comes to more severe skin sensitivities like that, that's really where a dermatologist can be most beneficial. So I recommend checking out her videos if you are able to. Suzanne says, would love to know your favorite cleansers for dry skin. By the way, love you and your channel. You are the sweetest. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for all the kind notes that I see always through the comment section. I may not be able to, you know, read every single one of them out, but I really appreciate them, and I do see them. So cleansers for dry skin. Oh, there's a bunch of different ones. The La Roche-Posay Toleriane Hydrating Cleanser has always been one of my favorites. Whenever I travel to the mainland, I really enjoy using that one. The Aveeno Calm and Restore Cleanser, I also love as well. If you don't personally like a frothing experience, the Aveeno one can be really good, but it actually does a good job of cleansing. I personally like dry cleansers for dry skin that actually like remove stuff from the skin, and I found that both with the La Roche-Posay one and the Aveeno one, rather than dry skin cleansers where you kind of use it, you rinse it off, and you're like, I don't notice any difference in my skin at all. So those are really good. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've really enjoyed for dry skin. To be honest, because my skin is typically so oily, it's and I always love to, you know, try out products and see which ones I like best. It's more difficult. It's more rare that I use cleansers specifically for dry skin. I'm trying to like look at my, oh, the First Aid Beauty cleanser is definitely a good one for dry skin as well. That one can be really beneficial, and that was one of the first skincare products I ever used. I'd say any of those are some of my favorites. I think I've made a video about cleansers for dry skin. If I haven't, call me out, bitch, because I need to make one. But I definitely have made videos talking about the best products for dry skin, and I recommend checking those out. Oh, Viola says, hi Hyram, will you try the Mad About Skin skincare line? It seems really nice. I love his channel. He's great. If you guys don't watch Mad About Skin, I really enjoy his videos. He's very informative, really deep dives into, you know, products and ingredients, and he's so fast and just up to date with everything that's happening in the skincare community. And he talked about coming out with the skincare line, which I'm so excited to try out. I don't know if it's launched yet. I haven't seen him post about it yet, but whenever it does launch, last I remember he was still developing the formulas. But I'm really excited to try that line, and I will definitely be buying once he releases it. Aww, thank you, Hillary. She said, forgot to write a message, but love you, bestie. If you guys don't watch Hillary Star on TikTok, she is freaking incredible, has become one of my closest friends in the industry. She's amazing, so funny. If you want to be constantly crying, laughing, go watch her videos on TikTok, because she's the best. And she's starting a YouTube channel. I believe she's uploaded a few videos, so you definitely want to go subscribe to her. She's freaking awesome. Thank you, Hillary. I'm trying to find questions. Wow, you guys give really detailed questions. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to pick one. It's always so hard. I have very oily skin with constant breakouts. I don't use any products on my face. What can I use? Great question. I love it when people are always interested in trying, but they don't, you know really where to start. I'd say more than anything, start using a sunscreen, just finding a good like drugstore sunscreen that you can use every single day if you want to start, because that's definitely going to be able to help overall with a bunch of different skin issues. I'd say definitely using a product with salicylic acid, whether that be a salicylic acid cleanser like the Incula salicylic acid, a salicylic acid serum like my own, the Selfless by Hyram salicylic acid and sea kelp serum. It's definitely beneficial for getting that treatment. You definitely want it in your skin because of its ability to not only decrease the amount of oil production that you're creating, so your skin's super oily, and making sure that's minimized, but also just exfoliating your skin so that it helps with breakouts. And then you want to use, I'd say, a lightweight moisturizer, like a really light gel. That can be really helpful for oily skin and help to minimize the overall oiliness. A lot of times people with oily skin are hesitant to use a moisturizer because they're like, my skin is already so oily, I don't want to add more moisture to it. but actually creating a seal of moisture over top of your skin can make sure that your skin doesn't feel the need to produce so much oil and makes you less oily overall. So I'd say starting with those things can be really beneficial, and then just making sure that you're using, a good cleanser that can remove everything, whether that be like a salicylic acid cleanser or just a general. Make sure you use a good one that's able to really remove everything from your skin, and be able to get rid of all that oil on your face. I'd say those are some of the best ways to be able to start using a routine for oily skin, because I feel you, man. As someone who has had so much oil on my skin, I definitely feel you. It is difficult to know where to start. My skin gets greasy after applying moisturizer. Any suggestions? Thank you, Shalani. So I'd say that could be a balance of your moisturizer being too heavy for your skin, or depending on how much moisturizer you are applying. So I personally recommend applying about a pea to a maximum of like a blueberry size amount of moisturizer to your face. You don't need to use a lot. Using a lesser amount can make sure that your skin doesn't get as greasy or as heavy. But also, if you're using like a cream moisturizer or kind of like a thicker, richer one, I definitely recommend trying out a more lightweight gel cream. If you want recommendations for like a really lightweight moisturizer, there's the Rovectin Lotus Water Cream Moisturizer. There's the Versed Moisturizer as well. There's the First Aid Beauty Coconut Water Cream Moisturizer. Those are all really good to be able to help with, making sure that you don't have a really heavy feel and consistency on your face after you apply your moisturizer. I'd say those are the two biggest culprits for why your skin can get greasy. But if you're continuing to see grease after that, it may just because your skin is feeling the need to produce so much oil, and you may want to use a more richer moisturizer overnight to help make sure your skin isn't losing water as you sleep, so that it doesn't feel the need to produce as much oil throughout the day. But doing those first two things hopefully will be able to help the most, because that's what I've noticed with a lot of people, is just doing those main things can be the most beneficial. Sophia says, is tomato juice good for acne? You're so sweet and helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, you're very sweet, Sophia. To be honest, I have not seen data that shows a positive link between tomato juice and acne. I've never heard of that. Do you mean like drinking tomato juice, or like actually applying tomato juice to the skin? I don't know. I mean, I know that tomatoes do have some beneficial ingredients in them to be able to help with skin health, but those can be extracted and put into a skincare product rather than just using tomato juice. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'd have to see data on that, but I am not knowledgeable enough on that to be able to recommend it or not. But thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate it. Camille says, hi Hyram, any tips for a swimmer who is on Accutane? Ooh, I can just feel the dryness of your skin through this screen. I am sorry. The issue with when you swim and you're exposed to chlorine water a lot, that can really dehydrate your skin a lot. And when you're on Accutane, that shit already dries the hell out of your skin. So I'm guessing you probably have really dry skin. I'd say going in with the most rich moisturizers that you can use throughout the day and throughout the night. And then when you are swimming, I actually recommend using a product that has heavy in silicones that can create a seal over top of your skin so that the chlorine water isn't continually stripping your skin of hydration. Honestly, like, I would just say any product that is very like more silicone heavy, that has like dimethicone, or any of those beneficial silicones to really create that seal over top of your skin can be really helpful in doing that. And then if you want like a really rich moisturizer that can be really beneficial, I honestly recommend the Skin Fix Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. That one is bomb, super rich, deeply nourishing and moisturizing to the skin, and can definitely help to compensate for that dryness. But overall, just take it easy with your skin. Don't use too many products, don't use too many actives, because that could put your skin over the edge, considering you are already on Accutane as well. And then of course, always check with your dermatologist if you are on Accutane too, since you do have that resource, just to be extra careful. Okay, so I'm going to answer one more skincare question, and then we're in the last 5 minutes, which is where we always do just random fun questions where you can ask me anything, whether it be about life, Hawaii, YouTube, drama. No, I'm kidding. Not about drama. But just any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer. But I'm going to answer one more skincare question before we get into that. Let me find a good one. Let's see. Okay, so Hira says, I use niacinamide and hyaluronic acid for my dry skin. I've been using it for 3 months and my skin isn't getting better. So I'm going to assume that your skin is really struggling first and foremost with a lot of dryness. Now, niacinamide is amazing. It can be really helpful for supporting the barrier of the skin, and hyaluronic acid can be really beneficial too for bringing water from the air into your skin. However, if you're in a really dry climate, sometimes hyaluronic acid can actually dehydrate your skin a little bit more depending on how much you're using, because if you think about it, if there's not water in your climate and the hyaluronic acid is just trying to pull water from wherever it can, sometimes it can pull water from within your skin and dry out your skin a little bit even more. So if you're in a really dry climate, maybe go easy on the hyaluronic acid, but more than anything, really focus on how rich and nourishing of moisturizers you're using. Make sure you use a really rich moisturizer overnight to be able to help seal in your skin, and use one during the day as well. If you are struggling to find like a really good one, there's the Vanicream one that you can use that's super nourishing to the skin. Of course, the Skin Fix Triple Lipid Peptide Cream, which is my personal favorite for a really rich and deeply nourishing consistency. There's the Elf Happy Hydration Cream if you want a little bit more of a lightweight experience, or if you're wanting, something really sealing in the moisture, definitely use something more heavy with like silicones that can, like I said with the swimming question, can really create that seal over the surface of your skin so that you're not losing water through it, but really just focus on your moisture barrier and moisturizing. That's the most important thing, and hopefully that'll be able to help assist with that. I know dry skin can be a really big struggle. I used to struggle with eczema and it was the worst, so I can only try to understand what that struggle has been like. So I hope that's able to help. Okay, let's answer some fun questions for the last 5 minutes. Oh, okay, so this one isn't a fun question. This really isn't a fun question, but I do want to answer it. Tessa says, was New York City as emotionally difficult as you thought? Yes and no, not for the reasons I thought it was. So for the first month I was in New York City, it was truthfully a little bit difficult, and I think it was just because I was working 24/7. That's when I was launching the brand, and there was a lot of prep work to go into it, and so I was just inside all day sitting at my computer. I wasn't able to work out because I didn't have time. I really wasn't able to go out very much because I was just constantly working. And New York City is definitely one of those places where the quality of your life is dependent on you going out and doing things. And I really wasn't able to go out and do things, so I was a little bit depressed. Actually, not a little bit. I was pretty depressed, so it was pretty rough. But after that first month, once launch happened, it was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun, and I actually fell in love with New York City. I didn't think I was gonna really like living there too much, but I actually loved it. It was amazing, and I've gone back since. I've really enjoyed it. Super good place. I could never live there long term. It's a little bit too busy for me, but I met a lot of really cool people. In my experience, people in New York City were really nice. You just need to actually go out and do things, and don't stay cooped up in your apartment 24/7, because not good for the mental health. Do I watch anime? I don't. I would love to get into it, but it also looks super addicting, and truthfully, I don't have time to watch TV. I feel like I'm already overwhelmed with the new season of American Horror Story as it is, and I just don't watch very much TV, so I know if I got into anime, I would get super addicted, and I just don't have the time for that yet. Hopefully in the future, I will, but I don't know. Ooh, someone asked what my personal type is. I will be 100% honest, I really don't have a type when it comes to physical characteristics. I don't care what you look like, so long as you're like hygienic and you take care of yourself. All I really truly care about is like how good of a person you are. So like if someone, is like super into humanitarian work, or like helping the environment, or talking about social issues, or wanting to change the world, I literally could become physically attracted to them, because I'm just like, you are such a good person. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm attracted to. But as far as like physical things, it really doesn't matter. Like that doesn't matter to me at all, because you know, inevitably we're all going to age. We're all going to get old. Looks and appearances are going to fade, and you're going to be stuck with who the person is and not how they look. And so to me, that stuff just really doesn't matter in comparison to like the quality of the person and who they are, you know, in their actions and behaviors. So that's all that matters to me. Ooh, Megan says, I'm moving out of my parents soon. Any advice for getting an apartment? Yes, if you can, start looking early, because the more time you have to search, the better it will be. Make sure you have enough money saved up, and I mean a lot, as much as you can, because it tends to be a lot more expensive because you have to pay for the first month rent, plus another month of rent for the deposit, potentially any moving fees, finding new places to eat, getting set up. There's going to be stuff that you're going to have to buy to get settled into your apartment. It's going to be more expensive than you think, so make sure you have enough money saved up and have a lot of backup plans. Don't just go planning on one apartment. You always want to have backup apartments set up in case one of those falls through, just to be extra careful. But I'm so excited for you. That's such a big step in life. Congratulations. Let's see. Do you want any kids? If so, how many? I love kids. I want kids so badly, because I think they just provide so much joy and beauty to life, and they like inspire me so much because they have such a beautiful, like, innocent and just positive view of the world that I think like I really want to exemplify. I'm not a baby person, so I don't think I would ever want babies, but I would love to adopt kids. And how many? As many as possible. But I'm not at that point yet in life. I definitely feel like I have a lot of maturity that I have to do, and you know, making sure that I'm properly set up to have kids, because having a human being that you are responsible for that could either change the world for the absolute worst or the better that you are fully responsible for is really stressful, and I don't think I'm ready to handle that responsibility yet, so we'll see. You guys are asking good questions. I'm trying to think. What was your major way back in college? I like that you say way back in college. Yes, I am old. So my major was really complicated. Are you ready? Here we go. So I studied international cultural studies with a primary emphasis in cultural peace building and a secondary emphasis in anthropology, and a certificate in entrepreneurship. So basically, what I was studying how to do is to structure businesses that are able to target social issues so that they're sustainable in the solution that they provide, and able to continually give back. That's basically what I studied, which is awesome because I'm literally doing that with my own brand, Selfless by Hyram. So it's like a dream come true because of all the social good that the brand is creating. So it's really fun to be able to do basically what I study, but it was an amazing major. I love learning about, you know, global peace building and anthropology and ethnography, and studying about cultures and how they operate, and, you know, how we can change the world. That's just like my favorite kind of stuff. What are your future goals? That is a good question, but you know what I have learned in my own life that works for me? I try not to tell people my goals because, and you can actually watch a TED Talk about this. It's very interesting that I really enjoyed, because I've noticed this dynamic with me. When I tell other people my goals and I receive like the celebratory response where they're like really encouraging, it simulates the type of experience that I would get if I had already accomplished that goal, and it actually demotivates me subconsciously from trying to accomplish that goal. If I don't tell people about my goals and I just work as hard as I can, then it's much more likely that I'll actually accomplish them versus telling a bunch of people. You know, I have really supportive people in my life who are really definitely going to like support me and, you know, cheer me on and everything, but it kind of simulates what I would be experiencing had I already accomplished that goal. And then I'm like, oh, well, I feel great. I feel like I don't need to work as hard as I felt I needed to, because I already have, you know, people who are super happy for me that I'm trying to accomplish this. It's kind of a weird dynamic, but it's, you know, that's why I don't tell people my goals, but I always have goals. What I personally do is I print them out in like a picture frame and I hang them in my office or in my room so I can look at them every single day. I literally just printed some new ones the other day, so that I can remind myself of what I want to accomplish and be motivated every single day. What is my favorite food? Macaroni and cheese, without hesitation. Not even fancy macaroni and cheese. Honestly, just Kraft mac and cheese. So good. Are you planning to visit the Middle East? Love you. I would absolutely love to. The Middle East has always been, the place I've wanted to visit more than anywhere else in the world. I'm just fascinated by Middle Eastern culture. I was able to go to Egypt way before the pandemic. Which was incredible. But I really want to go to other countries. I do have friends who are in Pakistan and in Jordan and other locations. So hopefully one day, but we'll see when that happens. Am I a cats person? I am, not as much as a dog person, because I think, cats, I respect them because they're very independent. They don't need humans, which I respect, but I love how, loving dogs can be. But there is an exception. I have met some cats that are super loving, who love to cuddle, who are super snuggly, and to me, I love those cats as much as I would any dog. So, I don't know, I like cats, but I typically am more drawn to dogs. Okay, I will answer 3 more questions. Oh my gosh, I start my first job tomorrow. I'm so nervous. Any advice? Congratulations, Madison. That is a huge deal. I remember when I first got my first job, I was a baggage boy at Albertsons bagging groceries, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I am stepping it up, because it's such an exciting moment to be able to like start working for yourself. I'd say don't feel overwhelmed. It's always going to be stressful. Your first day is always going to be like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what's going on. It's going to feel overwhelming, but you will learn how to do everything you need to over time. Don't be afraid to make friends and reach out to people that you work with for any help or advice. And don't be afraid to ask questions. It's better that you ask questions and figure out how to do stuff rather than feel overwhelmed. But I'm so excited for you. That's a big step. What is my favorite color? I wonder what my favorite color is. If you've watched any of my videos, you see that I always wear blue shirts. I love blue, but I love specifically like ocean blues. Like any type of blue that I see the ocean creates, that's my favorite. Any of them. I just love them. I think it's so vibrant and so beautiful, and I could just look at blue all day. Let's see. Okay. One more question. Oh, okay, I like this one. Do you enjoy reading? And if so, what is your favorite book or book series? Great question. So in the past, I used to be that kid who always had a book in my hands all the time. I was that kid that the second we would finish a test, I would like open up my book and like just start reading. I loved reading. I will admit now, I am not able to focus and concentrate as much as I could on reading. Like it's so hard for my brain to just like focus, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out, but I really do miss reading. However, when I used to like read a lot, my favorite book was Left to Tell by Immaculée Ilibagiza. She is a Rwandan genocide survivor who documents her story in a book, and it's seriously one of the most intense books I've ever read in my life. It feels like you're watching a thriller movie, but so inspiring. I think I've read that one 15 times. I think, yeah, somewhere around 15, 16. Love that book. As far as book series, oh, that's difficult. I mean, in the past, I was always a big Harry Potter person because you just feel like you're escaping in the books. Like you don't feel like you're in reality. You feel like you're living life alongside them. But honestly, I really love the Hunger Games series too. I feel like it's very reflective of a lot of aspects of our society, and I love looking at it from a more structural, political viewpoint, and I feel like it's very eye-opening and kind of teaches you a lot about the way society operates. So I really like Hunger Games. Huge fan of that one. I don't know, I just love reading so much. I just wish I could. I can't concentrate on reading it anymore. If you guys have any recommendations for improving your focus on like how to read, let me know, because I used to be someone who could sit there for 6, 7, 8 hours, read no problem, and now I can't even focus for 30 seconds. So let a bitch know how to help with that. But thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. If you want to know when I'm doing a live stream next, go to my Instagram, Skincare by Hyram, and follow me. I post all the updates there. Thank you for asking your questions as always, and I really do appreciate that you guys trust me with these recommendations, because I know something as important as skincare and taking care of yourself is really personal, and it means a lot to you. And so because you're, asking me for any recommendations, it really does mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next live stream, but I appreciate all of your questions, and thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Mwah!